Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bear It All. How's everybody doing? Hey, Patrice. Hey, David.
Hey. How are you?
How you guys doing? How was your day?
Fine. It's going great.
Mine was wonderful.
Nice. What about you, Patrice?
Beautiful weather. Wonderful as
Love
well.
it.
Beautiful weather.
Nice.
We are roasting here in New York.
Okay, but don't complain.
Here
It'll change in a little bit.
It was absolutely beautiful in Myrtle
tonight,
Beach today.
What'd you say about us in Myrtle Beach?
I said it was absolutely beautiful today in Myrtle Beach. 73, where our high was like 80.
Yeah, it was really, really nice, and it still is. Tonight we're talking about following your dreams, and we've got a special guest with us, Sarantos. He's a solo artist. Before I introduce him, though, I'd like to start with a quote. And this one is from Harriet Tubman. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. I like that a lot. It really lets people know that it's all within you to follow your dreams. So as I said, we're talking about following your dreams, and our special guest is Sarantos. Sarantos is finally releasing his long-awaited and eagerly anticipated first solo artist music album on November 18th, 2014. Sarantos' music has received rave reviews so far, and he relishes this chance to pursue his lifelong dream. Sarantos' unique sound has been best described by industry insiders as an emotionally powerful vocal style masterfully united with music that is a fusion of classic 80s rock and blended with modern soft rock and pop music. One of the things that I really admire about Sarantos is that 33% of any music-related sales he's going to donate directly to charity, and I think that's definitely to be commended. So without further ado, let's introduce Mr. Sarantos to you. Hello, Sarantos.
Welcome, sir.
Hello. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're great.
We're great. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Now, listen, we just started with your song, Nothing to Hide. Can you tell us about this song, what inspired it? I mean, it's an amazing song, and I really like it. It's very catchy. What inspired that song?
Well, first, I want to say thank you for having me on the show, and I want to thank all your listeners for taking the time to tune in. I do appreciate the compliment, and Nothing to Hide is a pretty special song to me. To be honest, the initial motivation to the song and inspiration was, I think everybody at some point in their life feels like they're trying to hide something, whether they're 5 years old and they're trying to hide something from their parents or whether they're older. But to me, the main motivation to it is my musical career. And if your fans ever get a chance to check out the music video, the song is basically about someone who gets repeated accusations from a significant other that he's cheating on her. And the little twist at the end is that he's not cheating on her with anyone else. He's really making his music. And to me, that was kind of the double meaning to the song is you should never have to hide the fact that you're pursuing your dream and you're trying to make music of all things.
Wow, I like that. You should never try to hide when you're pursuing your dreams. I like that. Why do you think people do that, though? I mean, because there are people out there who want to pursue their dreams and feel like they need to keep it quiet. Why do you think some people try to hide that fact?
I think it's human nature to always be a little scared. So I think part of it might be some people just never go for it because they don't want to fall on their face. They're scared to fail. So some people always play it safe. And in my particular instance, when you're talking about music or being a rock star or anything of that nature, I think as a society, when kids are growing up, everybody asks you in high school or beyond, what do you want to be? And the traditional correct answer might be, well, a doctor or a lawyer, something we consider a good career. If you tell them, well, I want to be a rock star, I want to make music, I want to sing, I want to be a singer-songwriter, I think it's human nature for people to kind of be like, well, he must be a bum or he must, they already form a preconceived notion. And I think that's part of it, that a lot of people don't want to admit that they want to be an actor, or they want to be an artist, or they want to be a singer, because not that it's taboo, but even in today's society where there's a lot of different diversity out there, I think people still are a little intimidated. It's not the correct answer.
It's really interesting.
Wow.
I just to interject there, I can relate to what you just said from a story that I've heard about a lawyer that actually was a great lawyer in Washington, D.C., which is where the area where I grew up. And he left his business and opened Cake Love because he loved to secretly bake. He was a baker,
Sure.
and he literally came completely out of the law career and opened a business in D.C. called Cake Love, and I've frequented the place a couple times, and it was amazing how his story, he was even on Oprah telling how he left, because that's rare when you leave a profession of that level to open,
Absolutely.
to do your dream, your dream, a part of your makeup and your natural purpose. A lot of us are scared of,
Especially a stable
Absolutely.
job like that he left. You have to take your hat off to him, and all the respect in the world.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Now, I've got a question for you, Sarantos. What inspires you to make music?
I could talk for an hour on that question, but I guess the simple answer is I just feel like music is burning a hole inside of me, and I just have to let it out. So I feel like for the majority of my life, I've been writing lyrics since 4th grade. I always let people know I wrote lyrics, but now that I'm kind of all in and doing this, I don't want to hide it. I want to let people know this is what I do on the side. It's not my day job. I hope it will be at some point, and I'm not ashamed of it. And I'm proud to admit that I'm putting this music out there, and I'm proud of my story.
Awesome. And that definitely is to be commendable. I'm sorry. Go ahead, David.
The thing I find ironic is, especially, for children who, Raquel, I love music. I pursued a career in music for a long time. For kids, for young children who want to pursue that as a career, it's really not encouraged because it's not thought of as something that, is a viable product. Yet, every profession listens to music. No matter what you do, in your daily life, you're going to listen to music. So what does that say?
Yeah, I completely agree. That's a great point. And if you think about even our educational system, I keep hearing that music is cut from a lot of curricula in grammar school, high school, and it's not even an option. But you're right, everybody listens to it, and the consumption, I think, is increasing.
Right.
What I find disturbing, now that along the lines of school, as you said that, Sarantos, is that they're taking out those types of programs from school where children have the opportunity to present their creative side. And for me, to take away things like music in school and the arts and all of that stuff, I think is asking a child, as you said, to stifle who they really are and be something they're not. And along those lines, guys, I just want to know, Sarantos, what is the importance of having a dream? I know your dream is for music, but what is the importance overall of having a dream?
I think that's probably the most basic human right, and I think we all have dreams and aspirations and goals. Sometimes we don't admit them. Sometimes we might put them on the back burner for the benefit of society, for the benefit of our family, but I think it's really a shame when people repress their dreams or don't try to achieve them, and I think we've all been guilty of it, whether it's something that we can always find an excuse why we can't do it. The timing's not right. I can't make the time commitment. I don't have the money to spend, $50 a month. I mean, we can find the reasons, but at the end of the day, such a hopeless situation to be in when you don't have a dream or you can't acknowledge you have a dream and you're not pursuing it. And I think no one should ever be there. I say that having been there and holding things back, but I don't think you should ever be there. I think that's a terrible feeling, a terrible situation.
I agree with you. We do have a caller on the line. Hi, Charles.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Charles. Are you there with us? How are you? Welcome to Bear It All.
Hi, Dr. Raquel, David, and Patrice. How are you all, Sarantos?
We're blessed. We're blessed.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And I wanted to congratulate you on your release and your project. And I know you'll do great things. You sound like someone who's very driven and grounded at the same time, and that's a perfect combination. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
To continue what our caller Charles said, listening to your music, it's not what we hear every day. It's not what we call bubblegum music. It's something that I feel can transcend cultures. It will transcend language barriers, all these things. So it's like world music. When I hear it, it doesn't fit any one particular genre. It has mass appeal.
Right.
Well, thank you.
Listeners,
and that was my intention.
Listeners, I want you to call in and tell us about your dreams. We all have them, and as Sarantos said, sometimes we're asked to stifle them, which is absolutely unfair because you're asking someone to stifle a part of who they are. Here's our call-in number. It's 347-855-8229. Now, Sarantos, we all, as we're all saying, we all listen to music. What do you think of music today? Comparing it to, and I don't, I'm not going back too far, but music from like the 80s and the 90s, what do you think about music today?
I think it's going through a transition period, and I certainly understand from the fan perspective that they feel, why should I pay 99 cents for this song when I can, I should get it for free, and I definitely understand the artist side where they would like to be paid at least 99 cents for a song. But I think the biggest thing that sticks out to me is it is absolutely a business. As an indie artist who's unsigned, one of the advantages to me is I can do whatever I want. I can release whatever sound I want. If I want to experiment on my vocal style or musically on a certain song, I can do that. Whereas I think once you get signed by a big label, they all make you sound the same. Everything's auto-tuned. Nothing's real. I mean, I can't tell you how many fans complain to me that they go see an artist in concert and they sound nothing like their album. I think the problem is just, on the one hand, there's not enough transparency. On the other hand, it's all about marketing. I mean, if you have the marketing support either on your own or through your label, you'll get on the radio. And how many songs have we all heard where you were like, it's not a great song, I don't really like it, but after hearing it 100 times in a week, you're just like, you're like, okay, that's pretty cool. So that's kind of how I see the music business at this point. And I'm not saying all the top hits sound the same, but they're all kind of in a cluster, and I don't think there's anything wrong with being different. I really don't.
Speaking of different, today while listening to your music, I did see a video. I think the name of the song, I believe, is Why. And the video, I noticed that you had titled on the video, what is it, rap and hip hop. Yeah. What? And I watched some of the videos today. What style of, well, as far as rap and hip hop is concerned, what made you venture into that area of music? I just heard you say that the cluster is pretty much getting old, and music being the same is getting old as well. But what made you venture out into that world? Is it completely different for you to have done that, or was it just something fun to do?
I think both. I think when I look at myself as an artist, and this first CD is definitely a little experimental. I did a dance song. I did a hip-hop rap song. I did a jazz song. I did a country song. So I think my style is basically 80s rock combined with today's modern rock and soft pop music. But again, I'm not afraid to. If I was with a label, there's no way that song would have been released. And that song got very interesting reviews. The true rap and hip hop people hated it and said this is basically like he's speaking. And when you listen to just that one song, the comments were basically like, this guy can't sing. What is he doing? He's just talking. Whereas when I created it, I thought it was, the female backups and the lyrics that got complimented, they're kind of missing the big picture, because if you hear some of the other songs, obviously the dance song is a little auto-tuned. The other songs are more hard. I can do these different kinds of things, and if you listen to enough of my music, especially with some of the newer stuff coming out, I haven't really told anybody this, but I'm releasing a Christmas CD, which is a surprise to everyone except my email list, in November. So the first CD is coming out in a Christmas CD, and the Christmas CD has 4 originals, 8 covers, and 12 short stories that I speak and narrate with sound effects. So by the time it's all said and done, there's some songs where people are like, wow, that's a great voice. To me, I think my strength is the lyrics, and it's all about the words, and that's why I put subtitles in every music video, because I'm a singer-songwriter. The lyrics, when I sing them, they're my story. And even if I haven't gone through it, if I put myself in someone else's shoes and written a song about a certain situation, I wrote it. I'm not going to forget the lyrics. I'm not going to, when I sing it, I'm going to be passionate about it. I didn't buy the song. I didn't buy the lyrics from someone else and had a world-famous producer cut the song. It's mine.
And in this world of music, that's what counts. Your publishing, the ownership of what you do. That's why James Brown died with no money, because those guys didn't own the rights to their music. So I agree with you in total. The industry is saturated with that bubblegum music. It is auto-tuned out, and half those guys can't sing. I was watching Arsenio and the other day, and he had one of these new R&B guys come up, and he was horrible. If I paid money to go to a concert and hear that, in Jamaica we are heartless. We have something called the shandy bottle. Anybody know what the shandy bottle is?
I don't know what it is, but I can imagine.
Listen to me. Some of our most famous artists, including Shabba Rankin, Supercat, Ninja, these guys received the shandy bottle because you were not performing up to par. These American artists, they escape the judgment. What's her name? Beyonce. Her whole concert is she's singing over tracks, yeah?
Yeah.
Kudos to a real artist, man. Forget what they got to say. Just keep doing you, bruh.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I kind of want to find out something, though. What aspect, from Sarantos, what aspect of making music gets you the most discouraged?
When I look at my situation, I certainly have gotten my routine down pat now, but it took me a year and a half to figure out how I wanted to pursue things. I have not used a professional recording studio, for example. And, that's made a lot of challenges when you're recording something in your family room, and no label wants you to hear that. They want you to feel like, okay, this song cost $150,000 to make in a studio with studio time. So probably should not be saying this, but this was all done initially on the computer. It was done in a family room. And obviously, as the process evolved, I got a better mic. I got better sound equipment. The software I started with is Logic, which is a very good software on the computer.
Very good.
As I've thrown everything together, then I hired a really good guitarist, and I went through plenty that were not good. But eventually, everything you hear is a live track. Everything you hear has been professionally produced. But probably the hardest thing is it really should not have to cost you this much money to put out a good song, and then to put it out and have no one listen to it because you need another $200,000 to get radio airplay in the United States. It's not fair. I almost wish it was like the older days when you could, if people liked it, they shared it, you got on a couple radios, and then it would, you really need money, and it's just sad to say that.
Absolutely.
That's how they do it.
And speaking, since we're on the lines of money, I'm interested in knowing. You said you would 33% of your recording sales will go to charity. What charity?
The thing that kind of pushed me over the edge to follow my dream was a couple years ago. My father passed away from lung cancer, and I kind of got to the point in my life after mourning for a year. I just woke up one day and decided, you know what? I have wanted to do this since I was a little kid. There's really no reason to get to my 80th birthday and be like I never gave it a shot. So my father was a huge role model for me. And then as I was putting together what I wanted to do, I'm not doing this for the money. I mean, I'm really not. And what I decided was, why not donate? Initially, I wanted to donate all of it to charity, and then a couple of people in the industry that I was talking to were like, no, you shouldn't do that. So what I kind of settled on was a percent of profits, because, again, if I ever sign with a label, obviously the marketing expenses can get huge, and if a label's taking 90%, how in the world am I going to donate, a significant amount? So I thought I wanted to do something that I could do, and I could do forever. So the charity thing is not going to end. Even if I make it, in 20 years from now, if Nothing to Hide is cranking out royalties or whatever it's doing, that charity that I've assigned to that song is still going to be making money from it. And I thought it'd also be cool not to do one charity. What I did is I picked a different charity for each song. So, for example, for Not Where I Want to Be, which is the first song, the double meaning to the song is about a guy turning 30 the next day, and he kind of gets a little depressed because he realizes his 20s are gone. Like, now he's going to hit 30. This is the 30s. And the 20s, you're all excited. Even if you're delaying your dream, you're delaying it. You kind of feel like, I'm still young. I can still get to it. But when I hit 30 and I wrote this song, I was really sad because I was like, wow, I might never pursue this musical dream of mine. But the double meaning to the song is cancer is not where anyone wants to be. And I thought the American Cancer Society would be a great fit for that song. So each song I've tried to do like a double meaning and figure out why I picked that charity. And it's been fun because now I have fans recommend charities for the next CD, and it's interactive. I'm open to doing it, and any charities you guys suggest, I mean, I'm open to anything and everything.
That's wonderful.
Wow,
that's
that
an
would be
interesting
awesome.
concept. Yeah, that's an interesting concept. So nobody gets left out.
And it's
Yeah.
exactly.
Nobody gets left out.
I actually like that. That's the
it.
first time I've ever heard of that, but I like it.
That's the true meaning of diversification.
Yeah, I guess the downside to being me is people in the industry or different people that I've worked, they kind of look at you and they basically are like, what are you, an idiot? Like, why are you doing this? And why are you releasing a new video with every single song? You shouldn't do that. You should do a lyric video and then just release one video a year. And to me, again, I have a reason for everything I'm doing. I'm not saying that it makes perfect sense, but to me, I think it's all about the fan. I want to be in constant touch with them. I want to give them something unique. I don't want to be an artist that puts out a CD every 3 years and then you forget about me. I want to be out there every week, every month with a new song, a new video, so that they don't forget about me. They keep, and when they listen to the song, they're like, wow, that's a cool, doesn't all sound the same. Listen to most artists,
right.
And I'm not going to name any names, all their stuff sounds the same.
Yeah.
And I have to say that the quality of your videos are awesome. I mean, they're literally, they're really, really nice. The quality, the texture of the film is really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I try, and I have to be honest, that's been a huge challenge because the music part to me is easy. The video part, again, I'm on a very limited budget, and it's challenging. You know, it's not like I have a label saying, sure, spend $1 million on a video. I mean, so I have a lot of great ideas of things I'd really like to do, and I hope they enjoy the videos I'm putting out there, but I understand at the end of the day that, you know, I try to make it a story. I think most music videos are kind of lame. There's no story to it. I mean, I don't need to see someone just walking their selfies, and it's just there's no point to it. You know, I don't want a video of me just singing in front of the camera. I don't think that's what people want.
And we don't want somebody not only just singing, but then somebody just twerking.
See, now,
we don't want to
why you have to go there? It all depends on who's fucking, okay? You know what I'm saying?
No, it really doesn't depend on who's
Ain't nothing wrong with a little twerk.
You offended him now.
All right, listeners, the call-in number is 347-855-8229. I'm curious about something. Since I'm we're doing this show, and I've actually got 3 musical artists, and I'd like to hear, of course, from Sarantos first. I'd like to know 3 people who influenced your music and why. And these people could be living or dead. So let's start with Sarantos.
In no particular order, I think the biggest people that influenced me are Michael Jackson, Survivor, and God, there's so many. If I picked a third one, I might say Def Leppard.
Okay. Patrice, you're a musical artist. Which 3 people influenced your music and why?
Well, as a little girl, my aunts were recording artists. So they actually, I was their number one fan before I knew that a lot of other people didn't know who they were. They were local, celebrity-ish. And then after that, I would have to say Layla Hathaway, Lord have mercy, and India Ari.
Okay. And David, what about you?
Well, I got 4. I can't, there's a double-double, you understand? So let's start with Nat King Cole, Donny Hathaway, Michael Jackson as a child, and Prince.
Prince is a good one. So, Sarantos, how would you tell somebody to follow their dreams?
I think there's no reason that you shouldn't. So the only thing I would encourage them to do is to be reasonable about it. I think if you decide you want to pursue any kind of dream, everyone always says, just give up everything, go for it. But I don't think it's very reasonable to move to L.A. and give up your family and friends and just feel like you're going to make it there. I think you can have a stable life. You can take care of your responsibilities, you can work, you can figure out whatever budget you can afford and time you can afford to pursue your dream on the side until you make it, and then you can make that your full-time thing.
Okay. And you're saying something very interesting, that you don't have to sacrifice your family. You are going to have to make sacrifices when you have to follow your dreams. There's certain things you have to sacrifice. You don't have to sacrifice your family. You do have to. If you include them, that makes it easier. So is that something that you do with your family when you're making your music? You include your family?
I think there's a fine line between to what extent your family and friends can be kept out of it, can support you. I think some will support you and some won't. I try to listen to everybody and I try to understand their viewpoints, but there's going to be some people that are going to try to keep you from going after your dream. And you have to definitely listen to everybody and at the end of the day make a decision that's in your best interest. But again, depending on your situation, if you have kids, if you have a spouse, you definitely have to listen to them too.
Right. Now, what do you say to people who are trying to follow their dreams and have a lot of naysayers?
The most honest advice I could give is definitely listen to them, because if everyone is telling you your music is terrible, maybe they're onto something. And I think I keep evolving as an artist, as a writer, there's no reason to believe that you've made it. And I think one of the reasons that people kind of make it, they climb to the top and then they fall from there, sure, part of it might be they get addicted to money, drugs, who knows what, the lifestyle, but part of it is also they lose that eye of the tiger. So I think you definitely have to keep evolving, keep getting better. And again, be realistic. If someone consistently is telling you your lyrics need work on them, but that doesn't mean you should give up. I think you should never let anybody talk you into giving up, no matter what. If it's really what you want to do, I think you should go for it.
And you know, sometimes it is other people from the outside, and most times it's you in your own mind and your own thoughts saying that you can't do this, that you should give up. You're too old. You're 40. You're too old to be a rapper. And
Well, I
we
think
sometimes
40 years
are
old
our
is
own worst enemies.
too old to be a rapper.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that, David.
Raquel, you know, it sounds nice, you know, but I think 40 years old is too old to be a rapper. Jay-Z needs to retire.
But Jay-Z started before he was 40.
Ah, there you go.
And he
so
did retire.
He came back to work.
And he came back.
He came back to work. You know, well, I don't think, you know, at 40 you should really, you know, hock the house and be, you know, spend the kids' tuition fund, you know, to try to pursue a rap career. One has to be realistic while dreaming, you know, and understand what's feasible, what's possible, and what's not possible. You know, that way your dream won't turn into a nightmare. Now, our guest has a very precise way, very managed way of dealing with his dream. So, you know, if the listeners out there, you know, are thinking about pursuing something, you know, maybe they need to follow his model. You know, he's not being unrealistic with, you know, what the possibilities are. He's very realistic, and you know, he's moving forward in an orderly manner.
At any point in time when you were making your, go ahead, David.
No, I'm just saying, some guys just want to do it, you know, and they don't understand that it's not going to happen, and you know, they end up in very bad situations. That's it.
It's really hard to be patient, I think.
When you were making your music, did you find that you lost yourself? You lost who you were when you were making the music?
I wouldn't say. Do you mean that in a negative way or a positive way? Like you're lost in it and you just can't think of anything else? Or do you mean like, I'm just trying to understand how you mean that?
I want to hear both aspects, if you have both, because that would help somebody out there who's following their dreams and they may get lost in their dream, or they may get lost like, I no longer know what I'm doing, I forget who I am. So I'd like to hear both aspects, please.
Okay. I mean, to, I guess, continue from the previous conversation, even though it might seem like I'm doing it the safe way or I'm being realistic, there's parts of me every day that don't want to be realistic and don't want to play it safe. And maybe I've come to this point now 2.5 years later, but I certainly understand being lost in it, the thrill of being on stage, and you just feel like, hey, I'm going to get another job or I'm going to spend every dime I have to make this happen. And that is definitely the negative to it. And I think you have to protect yourself against that every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think I'm obsessed about it, but I want it. I want it really bad. And I would do almost anything for it. Obviously, I have my ethics and my morals. But on the positive side, all it takes is, you know, whether it's 1 o'clock in the morning or to get a fan interaction, someone telling you have a great voice or a great style, or putting a comment on YouTube, and you just smile, and there's no one else in the room with you, and all of a sudden you feel like you've touched one. You know, every time someone signs up for my email list, I get an email, and I love it. So there are times when it's kind of worthwhile, and you get lost in it in a positive sense, where you finally realize all this hard work, all these countless hours that I've spent doing this, something might happen. And I think that hope drives us as human beings because it's a dream, and you want that dream to be a reality.
Awesome. So we're about to go into break, and what I'm going to play is Back and Forth. Can you tell us a little bit about that song, and then we'll take it into break?
Yeah, absolutely. Back and Forth is a smooth, some people think it's R&B, some people think it's alternative rock, but it's a smooth pop song essentially about, you know, we're human beings. What do? We go back and forth about different things. What am I going to have for dinner tonight? Do I want to date that person or don't I? Do I love her? Do I hate her? You know, it's human nature to sometimes be indecisive. Inside your head, you might think of the positives and negatives before you make a decision, but it's human nature. We're born to sometimes go back and forth. Some people go back and forth and make a decision quickly. Some people take their time, and that's kind of essentially what the song's about.
Awesome. I love it, and here we go. We'll be right back, and right now we're going to hear Back and Forth.
Back and forth, baby.
All right, and welcome back from break. If you have any questions on following your dreams, please call in. We'll help you out and we can answer that. Our call-in number is 347-855-8229. Again, that's 347-855-8229. And we are back with Sarantos. Now,
I like that one.
I want to talk about... I want to talk about something about what advice would you give to people on coping when their dreams are dashed or their dreams just seem like I can't accomplish it, I've got to forget it and put it aside. What advice would you give to someone like that?
The best advice I could give them from a personal point of view, I have failed many, many times, and I feel like I've failed more than anyone I know. But even if your hopes are dashed, learn from it, process it, and then move on. And hopefully anything we try in our lives, even if it's a failure, we can learn from it. You never know, 3 years later, that failure might be the very reason why you have the biggest success in your life. So that would be my advice.
Wow, I like that. I found a quote, and I just want to share it. It's from the lyrics from Already Gone, which was performed by the Eagles for their 1974 On the Border album. And it goes like this: so oftentimes it happens that we live our lives in chains, and we never even know we have the key. And that goes along with what you're saying. Your dreams are... I would hate for somebody to think that they have a dream and they have to put it aside or get rid of it because of naysayers or because they themselves are fearful. I think dreams are important and you can definitely fulfill them, and that power is definitely within you to do that. Patrice, I want to hear what you think about this, because we all of us on this call are living our dreams. We really are, and it's so important for our listening audience to follow their dreams. There is nothing in the world like it. It is so freeing when you're able to follow your dreams. Patrice, what do you think about that?
I think that is extremely, extremely important for once you do begin to follow your dream, is to not fear success. And a lot of people don't talk about that, but success is something that is very scary. It's very scary when you get close. The closer you get to it, your drive is high, you're on your way, you're having a good time, and you're really, really encouraged. And then all of a sudden something shows up that says success or, puts you on a bigger platform, and you freeze up.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many people that don't think that can happen to them, but I guarantee you, and I assure you that will happen to you. It overwhelms you at times, and you just have to push through that. But that is also a part. Yeah, it's a part of achieving the dream. Is to not run from the success of it.
Exactly. David, what about you? What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's like, just echoing. If whatever it is that you conceive, is possible. I say that because I'm on the internet, via telephone. You are in another part of the country. I'm in a totally different part of the country, yet we are meeting in the same place. all four people. So someone had to conceive of the technology in order to make this possible. Every material thing that is not created by nature and made by man is from somebody else's thought process or their dream. And they saw fit to pursue that. I have an idea to make a shirt. I'm going to draw it out. I'm going to do everything to make it real. I have an idea for a house. I'm going to draw it out. I'm going to plan it, and it goes up. Somebody sees that idea, lives in it. So we all benefit in our daily lives from somebody else's dream, from their pursuit, and of them achieving their dream. So my perspective is, it is all possible. To go back to the Bible, everything is possible for them that believe. So I'm a man of faith. I walk in faith. I live through faith. And through faith, I accomplish. So I know that, if we go through it with the right heart, everything will happen for us, man. And that's my take on it.
I feel like the quote queen today, but I've got so many quotes about following your dreams, and I found a really great one by Dr. Farrah Gray, and it says, build your own dreams or someone else will hire you to build theirs.
All right.
Now,
that's a great quote.
When I first found that quote, I was like, oh my gosh, I was totally floored. But it's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely true. If you don't build your dreams, someone else will hire you to build theirs. And my question, and I put this out to Sarantos as well as Patrice and David, what are you willing to sacrifice? Because as Patrice said, she made a really great point. A lot of people fear success. They're not afraid of failing. They're afraid of succeeding and what it will require of them. Can you, all three of you, starting with Sarantos, can you please tell us what it took for you to follow your dream? Just if you had to say it in one word, what would that one word be?
Heartache.
Okay. Patrice, what would that one word be?
Survival.
David, what would your one word be?
Encouragement.
Okay, and somebody asked me. No. Raquel, what would your one word be?
Raquel, what would your one word be?
Thank you, David. Sustaining.
You're welcome.
I feel that no matter what you go through, you follow your dreams. Oh, my gosh, if you stay on that path and go through the fire and the flames and the trauma and trials and tribulations that you will have to go through, how wonderful would it be when you come out? Notice I said when you come out at the other end, that you have fulfilled your dream. Because I find that some people don't want to do it because they don't want to put in the work. Okay, but imagine what your life would be like if you did put in the work. We have a caller, and the caller has a comment. Hello, caller. Hi, Charles. Welcome to Bear It All.
Hello. I just wanted to make a comment about tonight's topic, about chasing your dreams. Earlier, it was mentioned that you have naysayers in your life. We all do. The one thing I wanted to encourage people to do is keep naysayers around. Always keep them, on speed dial. Have their photo on your phone. Always keep naysayers around, because those will be the same people that will call you and ask you for money when you make it to the top. So always keep the naysayers around, because I can tell you from personal experience in my life that there have been times that I've had dramatic weight loss because someone told me that I couldn't do it. I once had somebody tell me, being a man of color from the South, that I would never be able to play the game of golf. A couple of years ago, I graduated from the Golf Academy of America.
You go ahead,
my handicap is around a 5 right now.
All right.
I
don't know what that means, but go, brother.
I once had, another person tell me that, hey, you seem like an intelligent guy, it's hard to believe that you don't have a degree. Well, this coming spring, I'll graduate with my bachelor's on my way to graduate school.
Go ahead, brother.
I use people to fuel me. So I always remember that. I say that to everyone out there. Use your naysayers to fuel you to your dreams. Thank you very much.
Go ahead, brother.
He was preaching.
That's a great call.
I like that.
Yeah, man. My dad used to always tell me, man, Junior, don't let nothing get in your way. Don't let nothing stop you. Encouragement is the key. Encouragement. Yeah.
Wow. Sarantos, I'd like you to give some advice for up-and-coming artists and how they can break into it, or am I using the right terminology? How can they break out into the world of music, and what can they do?
Don't quit your day job first.
What was that?
Don't quit your day job. Number one advice.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, unless they have a significant sum of money or their family is wealthy, I definitely have to tell them not to quit their day job. And I think they just need to figure out what they want. Are they really doing it for the love of the music? Because if they're doing it for the money or fame or girls or whatever it is, it's just not the right reason. So I think they need to figure out why they're doing it, and then they need to figure out what is a realistic goal, what is a realistic budget, a sum of money they're going to put, what is a realistic time commitment, how much time can they spare to pursue their dream. And, if someone wants to be a painter and they only have 3 hours a week, they can practice, and over the years they can probably get quite good at it, but they just need to figure that out, because if you don't have goals, you don't know what your ultimate end point is, and you can't track anything. If your goal is to have a number one hit within 2 years or a top 5 hit, well, you have a goal, and if you hit it, you know you hit something. If you don't have a goal, you kind of don't know where you're going, and you don't know what you're aiming for.
Now, you said something very interesting, and I would be remiss if I did not touch on that. So you're saying that we all don't wake up and just be gifted and talented at what we do. We have to work at our trade?
Absolutely. I'm a big believer that if you look at many of the things I've accomplished in my life, from designing a website to working in Photoshop to making videos in Final Cut to making music in Logic, I wasn't born with any of that. I sat down, I figured it out because I wanted to figure it out. And I think if you have money, if you're a huge artist and you have a huge label, you can hire someone to do everything. They can teach you the right way to sing. They can teach you about stage presence. If you're not, you have to put in the work yourself, and I've never been scared of hard work. So I can promise you one thing, that whether I succeed or fail, there's nobody that's going to have worked harder than I am. And I think, sure, you might have talent, you might have height. That doesn't make you a good basketball player. You might have size. It doesn't make you a good football player. So I think there is talent, but I think really you can teach yourself to do anything in this world, and I truly believe that.
Wow. I like that a lot. Dare I say I have another quote?
No. Yeah, quote on.
Bring it, yeah.
Quote on.
Since we are talking about following your dreams, and we have this amazing guest, Sarantos, on here, who's a solo artist, this is most appropriate, I think, and it's from Tupac Shakur. So go ahead, Tupac. And he said, death is not the greatest loss. Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside while still alive.
Wow.
So for all
That's
of you listeners out there that have a dream and it dies with you, that's not the greatest loss. The greatest loss is that you kept that inside, and you didn't share that, and you didn't know who could benefit from your dream becoming a reality. Taking it out of your head and putting it into the universe and making it real. I mean, oh my gosh, I love that quote. As much as people talk about Pac, he was an artist, he was a poet, amazing dude, and died way before his time, but maybe not. Maybe it was his time.
Wow, there you go.
Sarantos, I'm sorry, David, what was that?
I was just saying, Pac came, Pac did, Pac left. That was Pac's job. You know, you can have done anything you want.
Pac is still here.
Stop
He's in
it.
Tennessee with Elvis.
Stop it. Stop it.
Isn't that where they put Elvis? Sarantos, I want you to give our listeners your contact information. And I do have to say, I am absolutely so proud of you for knowing and going in thinking this is not about the money. I'm doing this for people. And not just saying it, but your actions behind it and donating 33% of all proceeds to different charities. I think that is amazing that you are blessing other people. And in return, you yourself will be blessed by blessing others. So continue on that path. And I'm off my soapbox. Go ahead, Sarantos. Give the listeners your contact information.
Sure. So my name is Sarantos, Sarantos, and my main website is melogia.com, which is melogia.com. In Greek, it means with words, and since I'm all about the lyrics, I thought that'd be appropriate. And you can hook up with me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. If you're not sure, just Google Sarantos, and it'll come up number one on pretty much every search engine term you can think of.
All right.
Awesome. I think that was great. Sarantos, thank you so much for coming on and speaking to our audience. Go ahead, David.
I just want to say, Sarantos, this is the most behaved I've been on the radio. I mean, since we started this. Thank you for
That's why I'm thanking him for coming on.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. I'd be happy to be on anytime you guys want me back.
Thank you.
We might take you up on that. You kept David, pretty much under wraps here.
Listen to me, man. Listen to me. It's the first time over. We can't, make the company. I'm a crazy uncle, so I took my medication today.
Good. So we don't have to talk about you.
Yes, it was great. It was wonderful.
You are doing amazing things. Keep at it. Will there be obstacles? Yes, you know that firsthand. But you've pressed on, and that's fantastic. Listening audience, it's about, we are all four of us here are following our dreams, and we hope and pray that you are doing the same thing, and that you're not waiting for a specific time or until you get more money or until the kids go to college or whatever other excuses that we tend to use. That is not what this life is about. You get one go-round at this life. I only know one person who came back, and none of us are that person.
Who that is?
Yeah. You're messing up the flow, David. You were doing well.
Sorry, all right.
None of us are that person. So if you have a dream, go after it. And don't go after it, dare I say, half-assed. Go after your dream and pursue it with every fiber of your being. You go after that.
Both cheeks, not just one.
Patrice, do you have any takeaways for our listening audience? Sarantos gave us his wonderful takeaways. Patrice, do you have any takeaways?
Well, I just want to thank Sarantos for being with us tonight and talking about music. We could have actually talked all night about it and went deeper into the industry. I just appreciate, you taking the time out and expressing or sharing your experience, with the music industry. Definitely hats off to you, and good luck on your career completely.
Thank you so much.
David, do you have any final takeaways?
Okay, yes, it's encouraging, again, to see someone being their own someone. It's not easy, to step off the curb into traffic. Some people are afraid of getting run over, but hey, it's part of the game. So, Serrano, I love what I hear from you, and again, I want to say keep doing what you're doing. Your music is refreshing, and I can see it going a lot of places. I felt like I was in the 80s. I felt like, I saw Raquel in my mind's eye and that big sweater and that big hair she used to have.
I was going to get dragged into the 80s.
But that give and take.
David and I have known each other for several years. That's what he keeps trying to say.
Hey, that give and take brought me back to those days, Raquel. You know those big sweaters, the Cosby sweaters you used to wear?
Anyway, wow. I never wore the Cosby sweater. I just don't get it anymore. Wow. Moving on. But Sarantos, again, you are doing amazing things, and you will go far, as I said, because you are blessing others, you yourself will be blessed. And we just thank you so very much for being on our show. We appreciate you. We wish you all the best. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep your head up. I wish I could have rapped that. Keep your head up. What's the beat? I don't even know. But keep your head up and keep doing what you're doing. You're definitely encouraging. You've encouraged somebody in our listening audience tonight. I am so sure of that. Right. And we absolutely appreciate having you. Next week's topic is Thank you. Next week's topic, we're going to cover your partner cheated. Now what? Sarantos, thank you once again. Thank you. And remember, listening audience, I usually tell you about your life is comprised